Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lakeland Vale Let's Play series with me, CWATTY, here in Farming Simulator 19. It's, we've still got the oat contract to do today. That's what we're going to be doing. I think I've got most of the equipment over there looking at it. I've got the baler over there. Got the harvester. I've got the truck to empty the harvester into, and lots of good things. Did the soybeans at the end of the last episode. Here's the harvester. Here's my little thing. Is I'm gonna have to kind of do this via I'm gonna have to manually drive the harvester today because it doesn't work if I use the organic farmer dude, does it? $92.70. Don't know why, I just like to change the width because I don't think the headers on these harvesters are that brilliant. Right, we now need to activate our Baling Buddy. No access to this land, do we not? We're going to get him to drop back quite a bit, I think. I don't know why it's gone to 102, but it's at 102. Right, truck's parked all the way down there. I was going to do this field as a test with Courseplay, because Courseplay's had a big update this week that I've found out. It's had a big update. I've downloaded the new version. I've got it installed. Apparently, Mode 2 is now implemented, or it's in early implementation. For people who aren't Courseplay fanatics and aren't Courseplay familiar, what Mode 2 is the setting which allows a truck and trailer or tractor and trailer to actually drive to a harvester in the field and unload it automatically and then return to whatever it was doing, which is usually delivering the harvested crop either to a silo or to a sell point. Apparently that is now fully it's implemented. There's a lot of changes to how that mode works from the Farming Simulator 17 version of the mod. Apparently they've reworked quite a lot of stuff in it. So if you're used to the Farming Simulator 17 Mode 2, it might take you a little while to get used to the new version. Because it's a lot different apparently. Also, there are some known issues with it. So one of the issues is if you use a couple of Giant's trucks. So what I'll do is, as I get harvesting up here, I'll quickly go into the menu and show you that. So when you look at some of the Giant's trucks, there's a couple of the in-game trucks. I think the Phoenix is definitely one of them that has an issue whereby Giants have actually got the node point, which indicates where the middle of the vehicle is, off center, which is why you sometimes notice when you put a vehicle on a course that it drives offset to the line. It drives with an offset. gets a bit confusing. And it causes problems because obviously for a truck to unload a harvester, the courseplay developers have put in a set of values for the offset position. So when you have the pipe out, they've measured how far that pipe is from the harvester, and they've set that as the reference point. So the trucks are supposed to drive to that point. However, if the middle point of the truck or the node is offset by any way, it's going to put the truck in a different place. Isn't it? You're not going to have the truck centered. So you run into issues if you use trucks or tractors even with bad node points, whereby they will either crash into the combine's header because they'll be too close to the harvester when they're trying to unload, or they'll be so far off to the side they'll be driving along next to the harvester, and the harvester pipe will be in between the trailer and the harvester, so it won't unload. The courseplay dev said there's nothing they can do about that because it's an issue with the vehicles that Giants have made. They've put the nodes in the wrong place, and unless Giants ever update those vehicles and patch them, there is absolutely nothing courseplay can do about that, apart from say, do not use these tractors and trucks on automatic unloading courses in Mode 2. Use tractors and trucks that are compatible, you know, which is oftentimes, you know, the thing anyway. Obviously courseplay cannot ensure compatibility with every single mod out there, and they don't claim to. They pretty much say, you know, your experience when using modded vehicles, tractors and equipment will vary with courseplay, because they only try to support what gets uploaded to the official Giants mod hub, and not every single mod that appears anywhere in the world on whatever dodgy mod site, download site or whatever. You know, they just can't do it. They don't have the they just don't have the man hours to be able to support and code for every single specific mod. So they pick obviously the base game stuff, the DLC stuff, but they've even, like I say, they've pointed out now that there is actually some issues with some of the base game equipment, so they don't recommend using certain vehicles from the vanilla game for doing certain jobs. And the Tatra Phoenix is one. Don't use that for courses. Don't use that for any courses, because it drives offset. It always drives offset, and there's no way to fix that. And the easiest way to check whether a vehicle is compatible or not is when you jump into a vehicle with courseplay, right? As I've reached the end of this row, I'll quickly show you the courseplay menu. So a lot has been changed apparently. So we've got Mode 2 down here, so we've got field work over here, which puts the harvester into field work mode. A lot of other stuff that's apparently moved about the place. Turn on field. Some of these options players are requesting that courseplay changes and defaults, makes the default on, if you like. The mini hood option's gone. That might now be in advanced settings, but things like obviously turn on field, most people probably turn that off in courseplay settings, so we want to see courseplay dev shift that. If we go into the advanced settings now, obviously we get a nice big screen. Use pathfinding in turns is activated. Turn to first point is deactivated. When to raise implements late, when to lower it early. Again, I've requested that they make this the default setting on every vehicle, because I think most people You can now turn off the straw dropping when doing headlands, which is great with course play. That's a new option that's been added. So if you don't like to drop straw on your headlands, you can now program that, which is fantastic. Ridge markers are deactivated by default. Use fertilizer of cedar. So you can actually use course play now to deactivate fertilization. Click to switch, and the mini hood is now permanent, so they have moved that. Okay, so there you go, some big changes to course play. I haven't used course play yet in this series. I've just used regular Joe workers. Which is perfectly fine. There's no issues with that. Got a grass bale I dropped on this field somewhere. First bale out was a grass bale. I'm probably going to go chuck that into the sheep pen. Give them some food. It's not really worth me driving all the way down here with the bale wrapper to wrap one bale. That's just not a thing. But yeah, it's nice that we're getting some more. Oh, press the wrong button. Pressing the wrong buttons. I wanted to get a screenshot of my truck in the background. So yeah, I had a massive session yesterday, as I was talking about in the last video, where I literally spent 5 hours yesterday playing to record for what was effectively 3 videos. So the amount of time I put into this game to create videos, I don't get the same number of videos. You know, the video to hours played ratio is seriously out of balance, especially when you're doing like harvest contracts and things like that, because they're not quick. These contracts take a lot of time to do. Players, so if they're a massive field, and especially as I'm trying to limit the videos to half an hour, around the 30-minute mark. I know a few have been a bit over, but so far I haven't done anything really long, unless it was, you know, quite important. I've done a few videos shorter than 30 minutes, so I hope, you know, the balance in the cosmos and the universe gets maintained by that, and, you know, we don't tip the world off its axis and go spinning across the galaxy, you know, into nothingness, because I've been doing the videos too top heavy. But what else have I done recently? Oh, I've got all the mods uploaded for the new multiplayer server. I spent a day yesterday uploading all of those. I found an easier way to do it, actually. I found if I used an FTP client, I could access the FTP of the server, and I could upload the files via FTP, which was a lot better than trying to use the web browser, trying to use the web page to upload the mods. Because one thing the web page doesn't do, which really annoys me, is if you upload a mod that is already uploaded and is already on the server, it doesn't ask you if you want to update the mod or skip uploading. It just stops uploading. And when I say it stops uploading, it doesn't then move on to the next file. So if you've selected 100 files to upload, and, you know, it reaches file number 5, it reaches file number 5, it doesn't then go, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. You've uploaded this file. This file's already on the server, so I'm not going to give you the option to update it because it probably is up to date. Generally speaking, if you are uploading a file that's already on the server, it's because it's updated. You've updated it and you want the new version. Doesn't give you that option. No, it just goes, oh, this file already exists on the server, I'm going to stop. And if that was file 5 of 100, it then doesn't move on and start uploading file 6 and carry on. No, it just stops. So I was, you know, you try uploading via the web browser and it can take forever. Because unless you upload the files one by one to rule out the probability or possibility that you're going to bump into the issue of, oh, this file already exists, you're going to end up having mods not uploading, which is a bit of a pain. Another thing I don't like at running and now running servers for about, well, over a year now. For a year now, I've been running the multiplayer server. The one thing I don't like with giant server interfaces, you can't have separate mod folders. So it's one mod folder for all maps that you might run on your server, and obviously you can have 10 save slots, so you could theoretically run 10 maps on the server and just swap to a different save file and map each time you boot up the server. But the problem is, if you run different versions of mods on different maps, you can't do that on the server because it's just one mod folder. Whereas, like, for me playing on PC, I have a separate mod folder for every single map and save game. I don't, you know, so all my mods are kept separate for whatever map, and I switch to it. I load up whichever folder I need for playing the map that I'm playing. And you can't do that on the server. So of course, the next map, I've obviously edited, updated some of the mods for the new map. These are shared by the map we're currently playing. So of course, I've uploaded all the mods yesterday, and now when you try to play the current map and try to log in, it says you don't have the latest version of the mods. So for people playing on Ballydawn, they've got to go download half a dozen mods or more just to be able to play for this week before I switched to the new map. Which means I could end up playing this week in multiplayer all on my lonesome, because I can't see too many people wanting to download a load of mods that are only going to work for a week before they delete the folder and have to download a new one. But Baling Buddy's doing well. Like I say, we're getting all the straw bales. The plan at the minute when it comes to the straw bales, like I said in the last video, was that I would probably take some to the compost factory. I might finish loading up the area next to the horses, the little bale shed next to the horses, and the rest I'll then probably take to the compost maker and get chucked in there, ready for either whenever I decide to start using compost as a fertiliser on the map and we get a compost spreader, or the other option is if there's a load of compost in the compost machine, I can sell the compost, and I imagine the compost is worth more than straw, so it would be slightly higher pricing, so I could make more money selling the compost than I would selling the straw. I just have to do that one extra stage, process it. And we're paying Baling Buddy. He's collected $59 for his work so far. Good on you, Baling Buddy. 90% full. So yeah, we've done that. I need to come and empty him in a minute. Get onto the field a little bit. There we go. Reverse him back very slowly, because we need to grab the truck and give him another unload. Again, it'd be nice to get some bonus oats ready to feed the horses. And obviously we've got the straw, taking care of all that kind of stuff. And away we go. So yeah, I actually made quite a good bit of money yesterday, because doing the soybean contract, I got 14 grand for the contract, and I got 130 grand for the additional soybeans, the extra bonus crop. So I made quite a nice bit of money out of that. I don't know what other contracts there's about. There's bound to be some more harvesting somewhere. Field 13, field 8, field 9 is 15 grand. That's canola. That was the one I was talking about. Is the canola next to me. Field 8 was soybeans. Yeah, I wish that had popped up slightly earlier on the map. Because I could have done that straight after field 10, and I could have had all the soybeans in the one trailer. Which I know is a bit risky to do. Big field this. Like I say, it'd be nice to own it myself. It'd be nice to have slightly more than just 4 fields of crop, because it's a bit limiting at the minute for Delores. gonna keep on going. On trucking. %, full. 93, 94, 95. Oh, didn't get to the end of the field. But it's good signs. Baling Buddy, you're doing a great job. You just sit there, chillax. Don't think I've reached the halfway point of the field yet. But we have reached 38% full on the truck. As I say, I wouldn't normally use the truck for direct harvesting empty. Certainly on my own fields, I would never use the truck. I would always use an auger wagon or a standard trailer for loading into with a tractor driven. But for the contracts, honestly, it just makes more sense. To do it with the truck, because I'm going to have to take the stuff to sell it anyway. And it cuts out a process for me. It cuts out a step of having to transfer the crop from another vehicle. It was a bit different for doing the soybeans, obviously, because it was a little bit quicker to do the soybeans with the auger wagon, because the auger wagon could actually hold quite a lot. And I could transfer the auger wagon when it got full to the trailer. Yeah, we're burning through the fuel. Half a tank used on these two contracts. Plus it looks like the harvester's showing some signs of needing some repair work, a bit of servicing, a bit of maintenance. I don't know how long it's going to be before I need to go and buy some more diesel to store at the farm. Because generally what I find as well is the Baling Buddy working behind you, whether it's the Magnum or the Puma, by the time I've finished a contract and they've done all the straw baling, they have no fuel left at all. So then they're drinking a hell of a lot of fuel whilst they're baling. The Puma especially seems to get through a lot of fuel very quickly, you know. I know Case were kind enough to donate that machine to me and give it to me as a demo for the year, but I'm thinking to myself, wow, that thing's going to be very costly to run long term if you were to buy one, because that thing drinks the fuel very fast. For a little 300 horsepower tractor, it's a bit concerning that it gets through so much fuel so quickly. And that's doing any job, whether I'm fertilising, whether I'm lime spreading with it, which I've done recently, bale wrapping, you know, it's using all the stuff and things. But another day is coming to an end here on the farm, or at least another video is coming to an end here on the farm. So now's your chance, folks, to do the usual. Make sure you click the like button, make sure you leave your comments, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and don't forget to share the video with your friends, family, wherever you see fit, with whomever you see fit, you know. I'd like to start seeing some more views on these farm sim videos. I'd like to see, because I know there's a big farm sim community out there for players, and I know there's other YouTubers that do farm sim that get way more views than me, And I would like to think that some of those people would enjoy watching my content as well. You know? My gameplay. But what I'm probably going to do now is I'm probably going to carry on recording after I stop recording the video. And then what I'll probably do is do that little picture-in-picture thing on the next video to show the, if you like, the end of the contract in the next video. I'll probably have it playing in the corner of the video whilst I'm running around doing something else. I don't know if that's a popular feature, whether people have enjoyed that in the last couple of videos, where I time-lapse a job and put it in the top left corner of the screen, or whether it's just a bit distracting when people are trying to watch and listen to me talking about one thing whilst there's something completely unrelated going on the screen in the corner. I don't know. Again, another good reason to leave your comments and let me know what you think of the picture-in-picture feature. Anyway, this has been the Lakeland Vale Map by Stevie. This has been Delores Floffelbotham, who's harvesting away like crazy. And I've been CWATTY. But for now, it is goodbye. And I'll see you again very soon.